Hi, I'm Victoria.
I'm Grace.
And we're
Colors of Cannabis.
with a ghost here too.
Yes. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but in the studio today, apparently we're not alone. There is a ghost. I've been hearing doors kind of go on their own. No one is there. But that's not what we were going to tell you about. It is oh, actually, maybe it's the ghost of our female ancestors. That wasn't planned because this is it's the beginning of March, so it is Women's History Month. So I don't know, maybe we are haunted by the spirit of our female predecessors.
They wanted to join the smoke sesh.
Yes.
I brought something special for us today.
Ooh, yay. That's funny too, because I got something special for you today too.
I love you. So I brought a hash gar for us.
Oh.
From 1111. And I've been buying these recently, and I really like them. They're 1.5 grams. They're
nice.
They're infused with solventless. Hash.
Talk dirty to me.
And they have a glass tip. And
oh, yes.
They're rolled with rice paper, which you know is my preference.
Okay, so wow. This is exciting. You guys, we try a lot of pre-rolls together, and I'd say the one qualm that we have with a lot of them is that the paper they use will either take over the taste where you just don't even get to enjoy the taste of the flower anymore, or the quality of how it burns. So this, like, if this is what I think it is, I'm excited because we've talked about something like this.
I'd love for you to be the one to light it up.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay, actually. Might as well keep it organic.
I knew for a fact that Grace was going to grab the hemp wick.
Yeah.
And light
I can't help it. Our friends at Organic Flame actually donated a ton of hemp wick, and I use so much of it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I had just run out. That's why, like, the last episode, I think I didn't use it, but it's about to go, so I'm going to light this. Tell us what I'm doing.
She's lighting the pre-roll with the hemp wick. Yeah. And puffing on it. Oh. And I'm really bad at the descriptive speaking, so that's where Grace is great because she remembers to do that. But she is smoking the pre-roll.
Ooh, that is so tasty. Guys, I just passed that over to Victoria, and I cannot tell you, like, I think that might be one of the best pre-rolls I've had in a minute. And last week you had those little infused ones, which were so good. But this, I love this. Wow. So wait, talk to me. What was inside again? It's solventless. Now I'm excited. Solventless hash.
Yes. Premium flower.
I can see it.
And obviously no keef, which I like because then you don't get that flame that we talked about last time, right?
Also, I think it might be less harsh because of that.
Uh-huh. And the paper is rice paper, which is my preferred smoking.
I see why now.
Yeah.
It's really smooth. It is really, really smooth. The way it hit was awesome. Even at first hit, a lot of times the first hit can be a little abrasive. That was awesome.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. I'm really enjoying these. I mean, they have a higher price point than I'd like. They're $40 where I go, which is, I've been buying them at Strains in Paris, which is close to where I live. Yeah, so do I. They have a great selection, and this is one of the things that was recommended to me, actually, from one of the bud tenders.
Huh. You know, that actually brings up a really good point, which is that the people within the dispensaries, the bud tenders, the owners, I mean, anybody that you have a chance to engage with, they're really going to have a heavy influence on what you're going to purchase. I mean, unless you come in and you're like, I've already done the research, this is what I want. But let's be real, most of us don't do that. And we do leave it up to, well, usually in any other industry, we would leave it up to like commercials and different things like that to feed us the information.
Yep.
But since we don't have the luxury of using a lot of those platforms, the bud tenders kind of end up being like our first source.
Well, I told you last time, every time I go into a shop, I buy what I want. And then I always ask the bud tender what they recommend, and I try what they recommend. And I try to decide if it's trash or treasure. And this one happened to be a treasure, in my opinion.
That is a treasure. That is a great one. I'll bring the ashtray over here for us.
What's really interesting, too, is this was recommended by a female bud tender. And thinking about Women's History Month and all of that, like, you know, that is an entry-level job in the industry space.
Great starting point, though.
Right? But what a thing to say is, I'm a bud tender in the cannabis industry, and to have that entry-level job. And we have a lot of different people to thank for that. And I think today each of us kind of wanted to highlight someone that meant something to us on our journey through cannabis. A role model, as you say.
Yeah, I think you couldn't put it better. We really want to kind of pay our respects to some of the leading women in our industry. And we'll also kind of at the end share why we chose these women. And I think, well, you know what? No, I won't get into too much. I was about to give away some bits. But did you want to lead us on that, or are you kind of enjoying that? Let me go. Okay. I didn't want to mess this up, guys. So I do have a little cheat sheet just for the facts.
Yeah.
So I actually chose a woman. Her name is Aundre Speciale. And Aundre has been, man, in the cannabis industry for decades. She was a cultivator back in the traditional market. And what's exciting is, I mean, she's actually like been arrested. She's been raided. She was one of the leading pioneers that kind of paved the way for us. And then just a couple little fun facts about her. I knew a lot of just the stuff in chatting with her and in learning about her at the dispensaries that she owned that I worked with. But when I really started researching her, I realized, dang, there was a lot of, like, what a humble woman. There's a lot of stuff that she downplayed almost a little. And so I started looking it up, and I found in 1990, and I really want you guys to think about where cannabis was at this point, like really. So imagine as a woman, she was a mother, she has 2 children, and she's cultivating.
Yeah.
And now 1990 rolls around, and her neighbor, you guys might know him, a guy by the name of Jack Herrera. He knocks on her door and he says, "Hey, Aundre, I got this hemp tour bus. You want to go tour California with me?"
That's really cool.
And she said, "Hell yeah, let's go." So she hops on the bus, and that was really what paved the way and started her actual cannabis advocacy.
Wow.
And so at that point, by 2002, she actually started opening some of the leading, some of the leading dispensaries all over California, Venice Beach, San Francisco, Oakland, South Lake Tahoe, Sacramento. Wow. And she also, during that time, joined Americans for Safe Access. Oh. And she was part of the marijuana policy. I wrote it down.
I'm going to nerd out really quickly because Americans for Safe Access actually has a certification program for labs. And
really?
Yeah. So, like, that's something for companies, consumers. I mean, if you care about lab testing, which obviously I do, is something to look out for. And there are a few state licensed labs that have that certification. So, yeah, that's really cool, actually, information for me to learn.
Yeah, dude, there was so much. I
just have to share this. So Grace and I were kind of working together doing our notes, and she was so excited about this woman that literally she just kept talking, and I'm like trying to do my homework, right? And Grace won't be quiet. And I'm like,
I was so
Grace,
excited.
You need to save it for when we're on the show so I can be genuinely excited and learn with you.
Actually, I'm excited now that I didn't keep telling you because it was kind of cool to get to find that out now on the show. Like, that's genuine. Like, we don't really prep all this. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I'm surprised. I know that you're very knowledgeable about the cannabis industry in all aspects. But I was really blown away. I was already blown away, and I'll tell you guys later in the show why my reasons were, but to find out then that she was also vice chairwoman on the marijuana policy proposition, which led a lot of different laws and different propositions that paved the way to 1564. I just can't even, guys. I could probably do a whole episode on her, but I think it is so, so, so important that we remember these people. And she's still here, guys. Like, you can look her up. In fact, when we post this, I'll go ahead and include her Instagram handle and ways that you can reach out and say thank you or share your love and support.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh, it went out.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to talk about someone that I've had the pleasure of working with who is actually a notable name in our industry. But for a lot of ways is someone that always comes to mind when I talk about women in cannabis. And for me, that's Maya Elisabeth from Om Edibles. I really, really love her. So if you don't know who Om Edibles are, definitely try to find them in a dispensary.
So great.
They have soaks, they have body oils, they have these amazing lychee gummies that I highly recommend. Their gummy lines are great. But Om Edibles is one of my favorite brands in California. And back in the day, when I say back in the day, I'm talking about under Prop 215 days. That's actually when she had her start, and she had a collective, and she made these amazing truffles, and they became award winners at High Times Cannabis Cup.
By the way.
I didn't know.
Yeah, her mom was a cultivator as well, keeping it in the family.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I do know that she has won, I think it's like 7 or 8 High Times Cannabis Cup awards for her edibles. Yep, which is impressive in my opinion, because I know the type of woman she is. And
amazing.
Yeah. And so fast forward to 2018, I start working at this company, and I work with a distribution that distributes these products. And I get the pleasure of getting to meet her and talk to her, and she is just as graceful and classy and everything that you could imagine from a woman who's had to stand as a woman in a male-dominated field and do what she needed to do. As I watched, I mean, and not so objective, right? Because like I'm involved in the everyday business, but like just interacting and thinking about it from a different level. Like, this is how a woman who's been in this industry handles herself at this level. And it was always so inspiring to me.
Very inspiring.
Because as a woman, you need to find, just not even as a woman, anybody, you need to have mentors in life. And actually, one of my mentors told me this. He's like, you need to have people that are on your level that you can hang out with, people that are above you that feed you, and people that are below you that you feed. And I never caught the significance of that, right? Until as I got older and figured out what that means, because I do enjoy giving back and helping others and seeing them succeed. And I do need people that are on my level that I can hang out with, because, you can't always be the one that's the most successful in a group of friends. And you do need that person that helps you get to that next level consistently. And so I've always been able to find mentors, but most of my mentors have been men.
Wow.
Especially being in sales. Actually, almost all of my mentors have been men. I actually don't have a female mentor that I've been able to connect with on a sales level. Because
gosh, I guess mine have been men as well.
Yeah.
I feel kind of weird. Like as you said that, it made me start to think about, who do I call when I have these like insane business decisions or things that I need someone who's been there, who's done that, who can really give an objective but non-biased, opinion. And they're men.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Isn't it?
It makes me wonder also, because I do, and I know you do too, we have such incredible women in our lives. Why is that? And actually, not when I think about sales, though.
So, yeah, very specific to being in sales and business. I don't interact with very many women that I can say I look to as a mentor, just because, unfortunately, there haven't been very many women above me. So when I came into this position where I could see women acting in business settings on a specific level, I had to take myself out of the situation a little bit and say, wow, like, this is how you handle yourself. And you find that mentorship and that role model and those things where you can find them.
Yeah.
And so I really think that's what it was to me. And then also, and I have to share this.
While you're looking at it, I will say I had heard of Om Edibles, but I didn't get to meet her till 2019 when her and I both got an award.
Oh, that's cool.
And she was actually one of the presenters. And so she went up and spoke. And then that pushed it into Rylie, High Achieving Kid. That's her Instagram handle. I met her there too. And she was another presenter. And this is a 12-year-old girl whose parents broke the law in their hometown state to make a tincture, essentially to extract cannabis oil from the plant and then make oil for their daughter. And they saved her life.
Wow.
And then in turn, they got arrested. And so Rylie actually has taken it, all the way to the Supreme Court. And she's fighting currently to help kids just have access to plant medicine. And so that is why we highlight these women.
Yeah.
And I
so
think
what I was
going
to say is there was something that she said in an interview, and I had to specifically go to the interview so I could find the right wording because it always stuck with me. And I'll go into why. But she said, "It is our divine birthright to receive this medicine. We have receptors all over our body for it." And what she's talking about is our endocannabinoid system. And at that time, though not anymore, she had a line that was specifically for women's menstrual and period pains. And I have endometriosis. And so it was just like, wow, she was speaking to me on this level of just like understanding about what I use when my body needs it. And she just was this really powerful woman in cannabis for me.
Medicine women.
Yep. So yeah, that's
Mary Jane medicine women.
Those are the two women we're going to highlight on this first episode for Women's History Month. We're going to focus on highlighting some other women as well on each episode. I'm going to have to light this again. Oh,
I can't help it. She's apologizing because she went to light the pre-roll and then I lit the organic flame hemp wick.
Meanwhile, I'm like, but I like it to burn a certain way.
And I just want to blow it out. Dang it. I just attacked her pre-roll. So while she's smoking that, I was just going to say, that is really important to understand why we choose certain people as well. And a huge part of the reason that I actually chose Aundre is very personal. I actually, when I was making the choice, it was 2012.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine had just started a cannabis company and wanted me to come on board. And I just couldn't see it at the time. A woman traveling by myself all across the state with cannabis, like in such a gray area. It wasn't, it was still just medicinal. It wasn't recreational yet. And there was just so much gray area that really my fear was the police. So I ended up flying out to Colorado with the company. And at that time, I went to a festival, like a 420 festival, and I met Aundre. And Aundre was a character. That is the best description. She danced to the beat of her own drum. She had on this wild cannabis-centric outfit, and she looked amazing. And I just remember thinking, like, I want to know who that is.
Yep.
So now I sit down with her, and I'm, you know, I'm in a playful mood. We start smoking, and she started to share her experiences in the cannabis industry. And now this is where things changed, because I had never met a woman that was a mother, that was, you know, a part of society, and was outwardly a cannabis advocate, has gone to jail for it, is fighting for this plant, and is doing it successfully, and is making change, is paving the road. My brain exploded that day. And I had the privilege of telling her this last year at Sherbinsky's party, but she was probably what made that decision for me. Meeting another woman who had done it successfully in a sea of men at that time. Like, there were very few women at that time doing this. And it lit a fire. And I knew, like, dang, like, this woman has gone out there, put her life and, like, her family and everything on the line, literally to pave the way so that women like us could now come and enjoy the fruits of her labor.
This is
and
my
so,
second one today. I'm realizing I'm pretty.
So, Aundre, I hit this to you for real. I really don't know if I'd have made the jump. I don't know if I'd have made it right then, maybe eventually, but to meet such a badass woman who was out there putting it all on the line for this plant and hanging out with her homies, you know, Jack Herrera and stuff. Right. I can't even imagine what those days look like, but I thank you for them. It really changed the course of the history of at least one person's life, and I know you've changed the course of the history of so many.
Grace made the smart decision to add clementines to our table when we smoke, and now I can't seem to want to put them down. So that's where I'm at right now. I made the decision to choose who I talked about in this episode because I feel like the timing was fortuitous for me to meet someone in the career that was, like, really successful when I was just starting my career as a professional in the professional legal cannabis industry. Mm-hmm. And that was, I mean, you see it more now. It's, like, more evident that there's women in really high spaces, but, like,
pun intended.
Not at the moment, but now it is.
High spaces. I had to. Come on. Set me up there.
I had to, like, eat the orange.
They're so good. For those of you just listening, they are bright, beautiful, orange, juicy, succulent. I'm also a little high.
Yeah. And there's that. And also, I'm on a diet. I'm on day 11.
Hey. No, congratulations. It's a choice every day, and you make it with pride. For real, for those of you that aren't watching, watch. And I mean that because it's more than just weight loss. You're glowing because when you're healthier, you're happier.
I'm mad I even talked about food right now, if I'm being honest.
But eat another clementine.
I want to, but I feel like that's yours, and I can't steal your food.
Are you kidding?
Oh my God.
I put it there for us. For us. There's no my food. This is our planet.
I knew I was going to eat all 3 of them.
I didn't know she was going to go 3 for 1, guys, but sometimes you go big.
Mm-hmm. Well, clementine's only like 35 calories.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry. Clementine took away from what you were saying.
Oh. It was just a fortuitous time in my life to have come in contact with her.
Fortuitous fruit? Sorry.
Right.
Clementine? I'm sorry.
And
fortuitous.
it was just, and this is why I forgot where I was.
I'm not sorry.
But yeah, she was just really, really impressive. And I think now, like, I'm at a place where I am still looking for, like, a female role model, mentor, and it is a little harder to find, I think, than you would hope it is as a female. Like, I feel like, oh, it's almost like admitting like there's a weakness that you have. Like, I need help. I need to know how to do this next. You know
Really?
what's, yeah, I at least.
Okay. Who am I kidding? I want it to be like, no, but then it's like so hard sometimes. You know what it is? We don't want to be seen, like you said, as we can't, because we're so
Used to doing everything.
and in this movement of like, yes, we can.
Yeah. So I think there's that. But Clubhouse has been really cool. I will just say that. I know. Get an iPhone, dude. Get an iPhone.
If you're just listening and can't see, my face is sad.
Yep. Because
'Cause
she
I
has
have an
so many
Android.
invites, and
I feel bad even. And then I'm at a point when people are like, Grace, I haven't. I'm like, no, just walk away.
Yep. So
Yeah.
but that's been pretty cool because there's some interesting speakers on there and people to connect with, and I just I've been enjoying that. So
Well,
anyways.
I don't have it, but I feel like if you do have Clubhouse, that's probably a really awesome way to connect with some more empowering women.
Right.
And I know like we will continue to kind of highlight this throughout the month, but today we really just wanted to take a minute and just remind people what that means. I mean, we hear it every month, all the different things. Last month we had Black History Month. This month it's women. But stop and think about why.
Yeah.
Really, really take a minute and think about why. Because you might not think it affects you, but the truth is these people have put their lives on the line for you.
Agreed. What was my present?
You're right. Your present, oh, man, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to have to leave it till next week because it's a time-sensitive gift.
Okay.
And once it's released, we need time.
Okay.
So, guys, next week,
That's funny.
you're
All
going
right.
to see. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.